She has a partner. We're gonna call him Chins because I don't think I caught his name, but he had a gigantic, like a crater-sized dimple in his chin. With her racially ambiguous friend, like I looked at this girl. At first I thought she was like light-skinned black. And the more I looked at her, I was like, okay, so she's some form of Asian. And then the more I looked at her, I was like, okay, so maybe she's Native American. And then I was like, but is she Hispanic? What are we doing here? What is this? We fast forward a little bit into the night, and I guess baby brother has gone home or whatever, and she's laying in bed with no bonnet on. And her faux hawk is just on the cotton pillowcase. And I'm like, sis, what did we do? Where's your scarf, baby? Because I can't be bothered for you to wake up in the morning with frizz and whatnot. But she wakes up and she has a whole completely different hairstyle. She's got it slicked back, braided back. And the two little braids, I guess the girls call it goddess braids now, I think is what it is. I'll try to put a picture up there of the style. And I'm like, Method Man's fine behind is out there. He is her estranged husband. He done brought this other woman to the funeral. For why? And he's hugging Rebel, and he's like, he was like a brother to me, and yada, yada, yada. And the daddy wants Rebel to be nice to Method Man or something like that. And I'm like, but he brought a whole nother female, and I don't use the word female, I use woman usually. But he brought a whole nother female to the funeral. And she's standing over there with her arms crossed looking stank. And then when Method Man walks away from Rebel and walks up to the girlfriend, she immediately is like, what did she say about me? Girl, this is not your funeral. We can make it your funeral, but it's not your funeral right now. Like, I can't be bothered. I can't. So we scooch over back to Rebel. She's at home. And she is suffering. She's flashbacking. You see, her daddy drinking. You see her brother getting shot. Then you see her mama drinking and driving. And she drives head first into an 18-wheeler. And ultimately, I'm assuming she's died from that. And Rebel's mama looked just like us. I'm like, is Danielle Truitt playing the mama and Rebel? Because they could have just got Anjanou Ellis to play Rebel. to play Rebel's mama. Because they look enough alike to where I would have believed Anjanou Ellis. But yeah, she's suffering and she's crying and shivering and throwing stuff. And it looks like she's going through withdrawal. And I'm like, is baby on drugs? What are we doing? And then racially ambiguous friend comes by, and she's cleaning up after Rebel, all the stuff she's thrown. She done turned over the chair and broke the vase and the glass and the da-da-da. And so friend comes by. And I'm sorry for all the shaking. I can't. She stops in and she cleans it up. And then she tells Rebel, sis, you need to take a bath. You stank. Get it together. So Rebel goes in, she takes a shower or a bath or whatever, and her hair's, curly, and it stops like right here. And I'm like, so that faux hawk was really faux. That was weave and everything. That way your hair. But yeah, that is like hairstyle number 3 of, I believe I counted 6. We're going to keep it going. We go into the next scene where she's got a puff on top of her head, and I just don't think her hair was long enough to create the puff she had, but it was a cute puff. So I'm going to give her that. And then I wrote right here, Anjanou Ellis should be her mother. Because you see her, like, standing over her mom, Bernadette, standing over her. And it's like, Rebel, wake up. Get up. And I'm like, is she playing her own mama? I mean, I know a lot of folks look just like their mama. I look a lot like my mom, so I'm told. But I couldn't play my own mother in anything. And my mom couldn't play me. Like, get somebody else. But, I mean, if she getting 2 checks, she slides over to the Internal Affairs office. They giving her all these questions, yada, yada, yada. And we're just giving the unarmed civilian, police narrative. And again, I told you it gets on my nerves, which is why I haven't even watched Shots Fired. But yeah, they doing it. And it to me wasn't as bad because I don't know why. I guess maybe the fact that Rebel has a personal connection to this girl, this boy who was killed, maybe makes it a little better for me. But I just I don't like the unarmed civilian getting shot narrative. And nobody does. But I'm overwhelmed by it. Let me see. So they start trying to blame the victim. Is there any possible way that your brother could have brought them on himself? Yada, yada, yada. And she's like, no. And if you want to put me in jail, the girls will riot. And I'm just like, the girls are going to riot either way. So, and then we see Chen's brother, like, what is she doing here? Yada, yada, yada. And calls her a black bitch. And I said to myself, and myself said, girl. And I said back to me, right. And we decided within ourselves that he got to die. He has to die. I'm not going to get my pressure up today. But then after Chen's brother goes through all that, he punches Giancarlo Esposito in the face. And I'm like, So he really got to die. He really should be fired because that's assaulting the lieutenant. Like, but whatever. So then we scooch over to Chen's, and he's on this crush, and he's like, my doctor said I'll be able to walk, yada yada yada. And then he said something about her apologizing, and she's like, I didn't come to apologize. No. And then he says, I'm not the only one with blood on my hands. And I immediately said, but you do have blood on your hands. Whether you're the only one or not is not the question. You have it on your hands. I can't be bothered with Chen's or his brother. Let me see. Brother he calls her Shanae at one point and is acting a fool, and he has to die. Chen's brother gotta go. Let me see. Rebel goes back down on the block. She needs to get to the bottom of this. Who is Texas is the big question, because Rebel's brother, baby brother, had mentioned Texas a couple times, and when he had the gun, he said something about Texas being out there, and things happened, and then he ended up with the gun, yada yada yada. So let me see. Rebel goes into some files, and she's looking up who the officers were that were out there that shot her brother. One of them had no priors. One was suspended back in 2010 for excessive force, and then Dolores comes in, so she's cut short. Dolores is her friend from, I guess, high school. Her husband may be trying to kill her. And she's like, he bought this big gun. He's been hovering over me at night when he thinks I'm asleep, and it looks like he wants to do something to me. And Rebel goes down to goes over to their house. And the gun is a Smith & Wesson MP40 automatic, which was a very large gun. It was huge. Let me see. Then Rebel calls racially ambiguous friend to look up like stuff about the case, look into it or whatever. So racially ambiguous friend becomes like her little sidekick in this endeavor. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get tired because I've been talking for almost 30 minutes and I'm like halfway through. But this was a 2-hour premiere, but I'm gonna speed it up, so don't even trip. Let me see. And I'm gonna cut it and chop it and screw it. It's probably gonna be up sometime tomorrow because it takes forever to upload because we've got a slower internet than we had at the old house. So just bear with me. I'm gonna bless you though. Let me see. So, they meet up at Daddy's. Rebel's cooking catfish, and I really want some catfish. I'm allergic to catfish though, so I better don't, but I want some. It's so good. Let me see. Daddy puts in Malik's CD, and he's, singing over the radio, and I'm like, oh, the brother's dead. But it was weird how he died. And they go outside, and they pour a little bit out, and then my mama said, when they went outside, my mama was like, who's watching the fish? Did they call the producer to watch the fish? And it took me out. That's Mama Val. I love her down. Let me see. Giancarlo rolls up on Chen's brother in the parking lot, because remember, Chen's brother punched him in the face. So he rolls up. You see him showing up at the parking lot, and then it goes to commercial. Side note, these commercials for the quad with these panties, I'm sick. I was so sick of seeing panties by that 2-hour mark. I was like, Lord Jesus, I cannot be bothered with these panties. Like you instantly see panties. As soon as the episode goes to commercial, panties. It's like, oh, girl, I can't. Racially ambiguous friend is crashing with Rebel. And my mom was like, so what kind of relationship is this? And I'm not sure if it's a lesbian type thing or what is it. Because Rebel, she carries herself a little stimmish, a little rugged, but, soft, stem. That's what the girls call it. But I'm not sure. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Let me see. Yeah, the whole world is watching. The paparazzi is flocking, as Iggy Azalea says. We noticed that the paparazzi is still out there. They won't leave Rebel alone. And I'm like, is it really that high profile? I don't watch the news, so I don't know how these things work, but look like it should have died down by now. And we are going to see Bill, and then we're going to drop racially ambiguous friend off at work. Bill is, he's casually doing his thing down at the house. And like racially ambiguous friend goes off to work, and Bill is being tailed now. Rebel is tailing him. And I'm like, you don't see this girl, this little short, tiny black girl out in your white neighborhood following you in a gigantic black Hummer truck? You just don't see it at all? And especially, if this is Dolores, or as Rebel calls her, D-Lo, if this is D-Lo's friend from way back, you would know her when you saw her. But whatever, she tells him out to he got a whole nother little family out there. So yeah, let me see. D-Lo, we tell her, she's creeping too. A mess. So she gets to speculating, and then she has to call in a friend. Then we see that Giancarlo socked Chen's brother in the eye, and I said, good, he should have gotten more. And let me see. Then Rebel drops by the precinct. She gives him the finger, and I'm like, so we flipping girls off? Because they did that on the quad the other week. And I'm like, we're allowed to flip girls off on TV now? I don't know. They saying the S word. Anika Noni Rose said dick the other week, and I'm just shook. I'm like, I mean, I know this is cable, and I know it's after 9 o'clock, but dang, when I was a kid, it wasn't this. We didn't have all this. Giancarlo tells her to let it go, and I didn't like that, because this is fresh, and it's her brother, and she only had her brother and her dad, and now her brother's gone, so now she's stuck with this lush daddy, and I was like, we're not gonna let it go. Let me see. She gets him to look up the license plate of Dolores' little boy toy and the husband's gun. And then she's like, yell at me so it won't look like we're in cahoots. And then he goes straight into, I've had it with you. I'm sick of you. You get out. Yada, yada, yada. And she's just like, all right. She tiptoes out. She calls him Chucky. He hates to be called Chucky, and yada, yada, yada. Then she comes home and Method Man is in the house. And I'm like, is he drunk too? It just was weird. And she's like, get out, and he like pushes her up against the wall, and I'm like, wait a minute, where are we going? Is this gonna be consensual or not? But it turns out it's consensual. And they've got all these candles, and I'm like, I don't know how the girls always have all these candles. Like, are you not scared your house is gonna be burned down? And then they were playing like this African beat, and they licking all up each other's backs and ears, and there was a lot going on, and it was a lot. Let me see. And yeah, that's why it came on so late, because me and my mom were like, it's a 2-hour premiere and it comes on at 9 o'clock. That's a lot. But that's why, because of that sex scene. Let me see. Yeah, I wrote in my notes, it's her husband, so it's not wrong if we look at it from a technical standpoint. But it feels gross. It does. It feels like she's sleeping with her husband. So, you know, in God's eyes, I guess it's alright. But it didn't, because he got that whole other girl, and just, it don't feel like they supposed to be together. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make this a 2-parter. But, let me see. Then he goes into how he can't keep doing this, like, and she's like, I can. And I'm like, if you can't keep doing this, why did you came? Why is you here? Like, she didn't invite you, you just showed up. Whatever. So we get down to Chinatown. Bill and Dolores are cool, and they having just a casual day. And so Rebel walks up to them, tears in her eyes, you know, fake tears. And she's like, oh, I just can't take it. The husband steps aside, and as soon as he walks away, she's like, ah. Okay, so what's your problem? Because you don't look scared of this nigga at all. You look calm, cool, and collected. And Dolores is like, girl, I'll tell you later. Like, yada, yada, yada. I don't like Dolores. She's ugly, and I don't trust her. But then the husband walks back up, and she's like, oh, I just came. And Dolores hugs her, and she's like, okay, everything will be okay. I'll talk to you later, okay? And Rebel is just like, okay. And then they walk off, and they get in separate cars and go. Let me see. And then they are trailing each other. Racially ambiguous friend follows Bill, and Rebel follows D-Lo. RAF tells Rebel, forget what's going down at your spot. What's going down at your spot? Come over here. The boyfriend, D-Lo's boyfriend, is like shanking Bill, and she's like, call the police. She calls the police. Rebel gets there like right at the same time as the police, and the police are like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm just here. And I'm like, you could have just said this is your friend. But then she goes in the house, and she tells the officer, stand outside, yada yada yada. Goes in the house, tiptoes around all the blood, sees Bill laying dead on the floor, throat cut, stabs everywhere. And she's in there crying. And then Giancarlo comes in, and he's like, you can't be here, what are you doing here, yada yada yada. And it's like, she could have just said she came by to visit her friend because she had been in contact with her, because there should be a phone record of the friend and Rebel, like, talking regularly. If there's security cameras down to the apartment, there should be footage of her coming up. So it would make sense for her to be at her friend's house. So she could have just said that. But he's like, you got to get away from here. And she leaves, but she doesn't leave because she's outside. She and RAF are outside spying. And let me see. Oh, I forgot to mention, while she's standing over her dead friend, or her friend's dead husband, she has flashbacks about her brother. And yeah, that's not good. Okay, so then we think maybe it's Dolores is doing. Dolores pops down to her mama's house. Rebel pops up at her mama's house. And it's like, did you do this? And she says, no, she didn't, yada, yada, yada. She feigns surprise about Bill's new family. I don't believe her. And then, and this is a whole nother hairstyle. This is braids, straight back. And then we find out that Dolores' lover did it, which we already knew because we saw him stab the guy. But Giancarlo visits the father. They seem to go way back. She's got on this cute olive green coverall, and I've been living for olive green lately. I hate the color green, but Olive is really turning it this season. Like, I'm living. Let me see. Giancarlo wants to help her. They don't really see eye to eye, and then she swoops down to where the lover is located. So she pops up on Loverboy, featuring Jermaine Dupri and The Brat and Ludacris, and and she like has her gun to the dude, and she's like, "What did you do?" Yada yada. And then you see a shadow like coming up behind her, and then you see like somebody judo chop her in the head, and she's like, "Ah." And then it goes to commercial break. But when she comes back, she's tied up, you know, hands above her head, and she's supposed to be hanging from her arms. And my mom was like, her arms aren't stressed enough for her to be hanging from her arms, so logistically, it's a no from us. And then she like swoops up and loosens herself some kind of way, and she's banging on something, and the guys come in, and she's got like this bar in her hand. She whoops them down with the bar, and then she gets hold of a gun, and she pop, you know, shoots the guys, and I don't know. And then she keeps involving Giancarlo. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I've been doing this for almost 40 minutes. Let me see. Actually, over 40 minutes. Probably 45-ish, because I got some footage on my phone. But yeah, she keeps involving Giancarlo, and then all of a sudden she just quits her job, and she's like, this is just not for me. We're not a family. This is a job, one that I'm not going to be able to do anymore, something like that. And everybody was like, good riddance, B. I hate you. Like, well, that was Chen's brother, but basically, yeah, they weren't tripping about it. She shows up at Dolores' job, pulls her out of a meeting, and it's just like, I saved you from going to jail, yada, yada, yada. Didn't really care about it. But then she comes through looking like Misty Knight. Like, it was a look. When I tell you it was a look, she's got a little braided band, a little afro, so this is our 5th hairstyle. She's got the braided band, she's got the afro, and then all of a sudden she reaches behind her jacket and pulls out this gigantic gun. And she's tipping down the street, tiptoeing with this big old gun. And I'm like, how is she casually walking down the street with this big old gun? And she's got this strut, and she's got these heels on, and she like walked into this restaurant, and all the white women in there are just like, oh, a black woman with an afro and a big gun. I can't be bothered. It's the Black Panthers all over again. No. And so they run out. And you see her just in there with this big old gun. And then she's like at a poetry slam, and she's got her 6th hairstyle, which is just a little afro. I didn't care for that one, but you know, to each her own. But she's at the poetry slam. I'm not a poetry slam kind of girl, so I didn't really pay attention to what she was talking about. But she said something about missing her mama, and the boys being, you know, the locations where unarmed men have been shot and killed. So it seemed like it was powerful. And then she's walking out of the poetry slam. She's giving you strut. She's giving you a walk, a look, a turn. Well, before the turn, she's giving you a heavy strut, and there's somebody following her. And you can see that somebody's following her. And the longer it goes on, you realize that she realizes that somebody's following her. So she gives you a turn, and she's like, who are you? And why are you following me? Like, she was giving zest and like attitude. And then it was some man, and he pulls his hood down. Well, she says, Hector? And he pulls his hood down, and he's like, I heard you were looking for Texas. I'm like, who is Hector? We've been sitting here 2 hours, and we ain't seen a Hector the first. Who is Hector? Who is this? Who is this? Harpo. Who this man? Who is this? Like, who is Hector? So that's the big reveal of the episode, is Hector is Texas, or Hector is in cahoots with Texas. But we don't know who Hector is, so I can't even be shocked. Like, I would be more shocked if I knew Hector was like the man that worked at the grocery store that like had a crush on Rebel or something, you know, cool, common, collected, and then we find out Hector is Texas. But we don't know who Hector is. So the big reveal was just like a minute reveal, because it's overshadowed by who the heck is Hector. But yeah, that was Rebel. Then I came home and I watched 2 hours worth of this premiere that I didn't know was going to be 2 hours. So excuse it if it's not my best, but it's what I had to give. So yeah, I'm going to upload this. Actually, I'm going to upload my tag video, and then I'm going to upload this. So this is going to be a long night of editing and full of, I can't say that word, rocks, Forest Rocks. If you watch Forest Rocks, you know what I was about to say, but it's going to be a lot of that from me. Because I'm finna get in here and watch some ratchet movies and TV while I edit. So, no, I'm finna watch Lady Nika, who will be in the comments below, as well as the GoFundMe for there's a baby girl who needs our help. So I'm gonna have her in the comments. Shout out to Sturdy. If you're here, if you stayed this long, shout out to you, boo. I miss you so much. You're my dude. Shout out to all of my followers, but like the people that I have talked to, Random TV Reviews, Mike B, Chris Barton, I saw that you followed me today, and I think that's really dope, and thank you. David and Nicole, I'm gonna link you guys in the bottom too. Yeah, just hey everybody, and this was my review. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all the things the YouTubers say, and I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. If not Thursday, I'm gonna try to have it tomorrow. We got a lot of TV to watch tomorrow, so I'll be here with those. And yeah, I'll see you guys.